I found the enemy, or should I say enemies. Hey guys, it's Bob Ferngren, and I'm back. And my heart, my desire, my prayer really is, if you're getting near 50, I want to help you. 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know. I'm in that game. I'm in the second half of my life, and why not live the best part of your life, the second half of your life? So, we do have enemies. We got the big enemy, Satan. He's always after us. He's always messing with us. We do give into him, whether that's certain pleasures or sins or confusion. We're willing participants a lot of times in our own mess, but we also have other enemies. We have other enemies, and we can defeat these enemies because they're just in our mind. Or there are others we've surrounded ourselves by. If you are struggling with your health, chances are your parents did, maybe their parents did. You're surrounded by people who are struggling with their health. Now, these aren't enemies who wake up today to say, hey, why don't you be fat? Why don't you eat some Cocoa Pops or whatever they're called? It's okay to go to plus sizes. Oh, don't worry. We all take little white pills that our doctor recommends for us. Of course, they don't say it that way, but the social proof is the enemy, right? Just as social proof can be good for other things, if you surround yourself with people who are healthy, if you go to the gym, if you are reading healthy things, if you're watching healthy things, if you're taking healthy things, wouldn't that be better than hanging out with the enemies of your mind and your heart and those who would steal your dreams? And so it's a choice, right? You have an enemy on one side, or enemies. And again, this isn't about saying people are bad. It's just how people are, right? And there are people who literally, unknowingly, are conspiring against us. If you struggle with your finances, chances are you've got some real enemies. There's some serious damage done to you by your parents. Oh, rich people are greedy. Our family has never had money. We just have to work hard and give up our lives. And maybe you have a BOSS that's your direct enemy, like who is ruining your mind and your joy and your peace. Maybe you have a lot of friends that are broke, and that's who you hang around with. You're calling them your friends, and how did they talk and how did they act? Maybe it's just you. Yeah, as I said, we all have a big enemy, but maybe you're doing this damage to yourself because you won't stop watching Netflix and instead watch some things on YouTube that can help you financially. Isn't that weird? That you have X amount of time. We all have this little dash between when we're born and when we're dead. And all of your spare time, instead of growing financially and learning financial education, is spent on all these different streaming services. We have an enemy, the big enemy, but we also self-sabotage. So we're an enemy to ourselves a lot, right? And we have enemies, like lots of enemies when it comes to relationships. A lot of times people get divorced because of who they hang around with, divorced people. A lot of times you have been fighting with your children since your children, they came out of your body. That breaks my heart. And they've become your enemies, your offspring. And a lot of this stuff we didn't do when we should have, when they were under 5 years old, when their personalities were getting formed and their morals and values, because we believed It was okay to just let them experiment and do what they wanted to do. We had enemies. We had reread books that were done by enemies. The Bible tells us exactly how to raise children. The Bible tells us everything, you know. But we have a big enemy, Satan. You don't think he loves the fact that you're estranged from your children or family members? We have friends that are just dripping with evil, spew negativity nonstop. And when we hang around with negative people, what do you think happens to us? We become negative. Now, when I say enemies, they're not waking up and saying they want to ruin your life, but their lives suck. So misery loves company. So they're going to drag you down. You have to do an inventory. Who are you surrounding yourself by? What are the things you're doing? Do you go to a church where Jesus Christ is preached and the Bible is preached? Do you go where truth is spoken? Do you listen to lies? Are you caught up in doom scrolling on things like Twitter? Or do you have a lot of people? People actually complain about, this is a good one to me. People complain about all this negativity on Facebook. Are you aware you have a delete button? Are you aware you can get rid of people that post negative stuff? Get rid of them. You can get rid of a lot of this negativity just by what your eyes are seeing. And of course, your mouth does you tremendous damage. Your heart will do you tremendous damage. So I'm going to give you a couple of solutions, and then I'll give you more solutions over time. Number one, start your day with gratitude. Start your day with gratitude, like every single day. Do I know there are enemies politically? Do I know there are enemies of God? Do I know there are enemies of my heart and my children and all that? And so I'm actually on the other side. I literally thank God every day for people who love Jesus, who are in our school system, who want to do God's will. Do I know there's people in our school systems that are pure, demonic, evil communists? Yes. So, but I want to thank God for the ones who aren't, who are trying to do the right thing for children. Do I know that there are demonic, evil communists in politics? Yes. Every day I thank God, and I ask God to raise up more people who love his son and love America. Do I know that our entertainment and our news media is filled with demons and socialists and communists pouring evil thoughts into us Absolute. So I thank God for those. And I'm very, very grateful for America. And I'm very, very grateful for what we have right now. I'm grateful for food and air and water. I'm grateful. I try to say every body part I have in my gratitude portion of my day. And so gratitude, when you're like oozing with gratitude, it positively affects you. And you obviously start noticing those who aren't grateful, who are moaning and groaning and and excuse makers and dream stealers and naysayers. And so you start making a choice. You start making choices. Gratitude will help you make better choices. And then you have to make some tough choices for yourself, who you're surrounding yourself with. I'm not telling you to cut off family members permanently. That's what evil does. Evil says, you're on this side of the politics, so I'm getting rid of you. I can't even talk to you. I'm saying, just keep that stuff out of your mouth. Keep them away from your family as much as you can. Pick and choose correctly. Just because they were your friend at 10 years old doesn't mean they need to be your friend at 40 or 50 or 60. My point is, all this stuff, you have a choice. You can choose to be grateful, and you can choose to decide who you're surrounding yourself with. There's more I got for you, but this one's run a little bit long already. Hey, God bless, and if you haven't yet, accept Jesus Christ, the King of all, to be your personal Savior.